Well, good morning, or actually good afternoon, sorry, everybody. I'm glad you guys came to our Trainer Connections event today. It is about Energizers. I will have a few people helping me. Bambi Cliff, she's going to be helping me today. Dawn is kindly doing some background stuff with our Zoom today, so I'm glad she was able to join us and help us out. We're going to use our annotate feature, and to locate annotate, you're going to go up to the top of your screen. It says view options. You click on the little down arrow, it comes down, and it should have an option just for you to push annotate, and then it pops up several different choices on your screen. So for this annotate, we have three choices. You've either already used Energizers, you've never used Energizers, or you're like, what is an Energizer? So I would like for you to click on one of the stamps and just put whatever star, heart, whatever, question mark, arrow in the one that describes kind of where you're at. And if you are having any trouble locating annotate and need us to help, just feel free to unmute yourself or type in the chat, and I'll try to explain how to find it again. Okay, so it looks like the majority of you have already used. Okay, so Stephanie, just go to the top. It says view options, and you're going to select from the down, when it pops down, annotate. Then it's going to pop up another little tab of options, and you're just going to click on the stamp option and click one of those stamps of your choice, and then select which one relates to you. It'd be, I already use Energizers, I never used Energizers, or what is an Energizer? Okay, so it looks like the majority of you have already used Energizers, and some of you have never used them, and some of you might not even know exactly what we're talking about. Of course, once we get started, you may be like, oh yeah, I do that already. And so then you'll figure out that you may already use them. Okay. So we're going to start with explaining what an Energizer is. Okay. So an Energizer is used to create learning momentum, and it does this by stimulating the brain. It's proven that if you stand up every 90 minutes, your brain then starts performing at an optimal level. It takes about 3 seconds for that to happen. So that's why it's important to have Energizers throughout your training sessions. They can be physical or mental. So they can be brain breaks, or they can actually be physical breaks where you have to get out of your seat and get moving. And they can increase the blood flow and the oxygen. Like I said, it takes 3 seconds to reintroduce blood to your brain. And you want to get, if you're in a face-to-face training, you want to get an Energizer or your participants involved every 10 minutes. And if you're doing a virtual session like we are today, they recommend that you get people involved every 5 minutes. So Energizers are revisits. Sometimes this is just another word for a review. So it's not like, okay, let's just review, let's revisit. And revisits actually relate to the content. So usually when you do a revisit as an Energizer, it is content related to whatever you're training about. But most Energizers actually do not have to relate to content. So they can be anything all over the place. And we're going to do a majority of our Energizers that we're going to demonstrate today are those that do not relate to content. So we'll go to the first one, and I think Bambi's going to lead the first one.
That is correct. Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Okay, make sure I'm not on mute. Okay, so the first one is called our weather report. So what we want you to do is we want you to get up out of your seats, go to your nearest window, look at the weather, come back, and in the chat, we want you to put where you are in the state of Kentucky and what your weather looks like today. And you have 2 to 3 minutes to do that. So we want everybody to get up. Are you ready? Go.
And if you're sitting right next to the window, at least stand.
I see lots of sunny and clear, partly sunny blue skies. Wow, they're flipping through pretty quick. Sunny and cool.
Bit of snow in Ohio. Okay.
Somebody put lovely outside. Yeah, Dayton, Ohio, sunny, a bit of snow and cold. Our snow is all gone here in Lexington. At least mine is.
Christine said she feels like the weather reporter in Circle Time.
Yes, okay.
But this is a very quick and easy Energizer that you could actually do face-to-face if you've got lots of windows, or, you know, it's great to kind of do in an online training as well. So,
there's another name for it too. I think it's just look outside. And so if you were actually in a face-to-face training, and obviously you're all going to be looking at the same weather if you get up and go to the windows in the same room. So you could actually just have them report back on something they saw outside, something that caught their attention, or, you know, I saw a bird in a tree or that kind of thing. So you can kind of switch it up for whatever you need to do. Obviously, if you're in virtual, you can ask people how their weather is because they're at all different locations. But so that's a little way to switch that up. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is a word game. So I'm going to have to share my screen real quick. So before I share my screen though, I just want you guys, if you have a pen and a paper next to you, that would be really great. You're going to need to write something down. So I'll give you a little second to get that while I'm explaining. This word game, I'm going to give you 3 minutes to look at. It's like a puzzle. So you're going to look at the words. You're going to guess as many as you can in the 3 minutes of time. And then I'll come back and we'll share the answers at the end. So you may have time to get them all, or you may not, depending on how quick and witty you are with this word game. I can't say that I got all mine done in 3 minutes, but it was fun. So I will share, and I'm going to, can everybody see? Okay, so you have 3 minutes to start. See, some of you are really intense right now.
Hans, are you good at this?
I think I am. I'm
All
having
right.
trouble going fast, though.
About a minute and a half left.
Everybody's so quiet.
I know. They're competing.
Is there big prize money?
Mm. You get bragging rights.
Right.
Face to face, you probably could get a little prize.
How about some Bitcoin?
You have about 30 seconds. Okay, stop. Okay, so I'm gonna stop sharing. So nobody else can write anything. Okay, so we're gonna go over the answers. See how many you got right. When I was doing this, I didn't get some of them right because I had never heard of some of this stuff. But okay, so obviously we'll start with number one. Number one was sandbox. Number two was man overboard. Number three was I understand. Number four was reading between the lines. 5 is long underwear. 6 is crossroads. 7 is downtown. 8 is tricycle. 9 is split levels. 10 is 0 degrees. 11 is neon lights. 12 is under eye circles. 13 is high chair. 14 is paradise. 15 is touchdown. 16 is 5 feet underground. 17 was mind over matter. 18 is he's beside himself. 19 is backwards glance. 20 is life after death. 21, which was hard for me, was ground infantry overseas. 22 was space program. 23 was see-through blouse. And 24 was just between you and me. Okay, did anybody get them all right?
I have 3 you didn't even say.
I got them all. I got them all right. This is Angela, but I have a disclaimer. I played this game with my team members. I don't know, 2 or 3 months ago.
Well, we might have, I played it with the team a few months ago too. That's where I got it. So I stole this game. That's a good resource, y'all. You can steal this.
Bethany got 18.
Bethany got 18. Anybody get more than 18?
I got them all except for number 11. I got 3 degrees below 0. Is it a 0 degrees?
Oh, okay. And okay.
But other than that, I think.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. That's good. Wow.
Cynthia said she missed 4.
Okay. I know some of you are asking if I can attach or share it. It will be shared in the Trainer Connections online.
As a resource.
Yeah, as a resource. So after this, once we get it uploaded, it'll be on there. Okay. Good job. Yay. Okay. I'm sorry we don't have a
Excellent.
prize. I can't send you a virtual, like something. I don't know. But if you were doing this live, this would be an option to give prizes if you had prizes in your training. So great. Thanks everybody for participating. And like I said, it will be shared after this. So Bambi, do you want me to explain the next thing or would you like to explain it?
I'm ready to go, so I can do
Okay.
it if you want me to.